I can.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's CNCF TAG Environmental Sustainability Meeting. My name is Leo. I'm one of the chairs of the TAG. And we have today, Wednesday, the 3rd of April. This is the first meeting after KubeCon Paris. And just one note before we get started. This is a CNCF meeting, so it falls under CNCF Code of Conduct, which can be summarized to be just awesome people. And with this, we can get started. If you don't mind to add, so everybody in this meeting could add themselves to the attendees list, this would be great. The meeting notes is in chat. Right, and I think we have a couple of new members, attendees. So if anybody who would like to introduce themselves, feel free to unmute yourself.
I will start. Good afternoon or morning to everyone, wherever you are. I'm new to this group, but not to the CNCF, because I see on the chat quite some familiar faces. So it's nice to officially be part of the TAG and the upcoming meetings. I'm Julie, I'm French, but I was not at the KubeCon event because I just returned from maternity leave. So it was a bit of too much to handle after 6 months off. So, but I heard a lot of good stuff and very nice opportunities from the event. So it was nice to see. I'm working with Flavia at Agnostic, and we focus on cloud native solutions and Kubernetes. And I will also I also participate in the upcoming CNCF Sustainability Week in October, organizing events. So also looking forward to that. And yeah, thanks.
Awesome, thank you so much.
I guess I'll also just quickly introduce myself. I was at KubeCon 2 weeks ago, I think it was now, and thought I'd join and let's see where this leads us.
Good to see you again.
Okay, guess it's my turn. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve Drew, and I'm an assistant professor at University of Calgary in Canada. So here we have the well-known stuff here is the Banff National Park. So if there's a chance, you're welcome to come here. If there's a conference, welcome. And the reason I attend this meeting is that I'm very interested in the sustainability of the computing, and I also have a research project. It's a 5-year research project related to this. Besides, I have years of industry experience in DevOps. Also, I teach a DevOps course in the university. So there's over 200 students for this course, and I'm interested in integrating some of the contents in the course. Thank you.
Welcome, Steve. Sounds very interesting.
Yeah. Thanks.
There is one project about learning path. I think the meeting is every Tuesday. The project's quite like in the beginning. Not much work, I think, has happened, but it's like in the formation process, I would say. And maybe this one would be interesting also for higher education purposes.
Okay, yeah, that'll be great. I'll take a look and see what I can do.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Is there somebody else who would like to introduce themselves? I think most other participants are familiar faces, so we can jump to the next section, starting with working group comms. Claire, I see you on the call. Would you like to give
Yeah.
a brief update?
Yeah, so basically post KubeCon, we've just been checking in on what we can do with communications. I myself and Valeria created the list of all of the different talks, and I think Christina has created a LinkedIn post for that. So that's really good and very useful, and also useful for us if we missed any of them. The big thing is I've been working on the video. I obviously had everyone stand on the roof and say our name. I'm hoping to compile a bunch of the clips together. It'll take a little bit of time to do that. We're also, I think there's a project proposal for user stories is later on in this this list of things, but we also have kind of like the biggest thing we need to do is review the roles that we have in the working group comms and what our plans are, and see if we can figure out ways that we can actually get people credentials and get people working on the communication stuff. I think there's a lot of cool things that we can do that we discussed at KubeCon. So I think it'd be awesome to keep spreading the word and do some more outreach with it. So that'll be awesome. We don't have anything in particular other than those things. It's kind of just like getting back into the swing of things post KubeCon and really seeing what we can do with it. So feel free to join us if you're new in the comms channel, tag ENV WG comms on Slack, and help us out. I think we talked to a couple people at KubeCon about that, so that'd be awesome.
All right. Thank you. I will also post a link to the calendar. So if I think most people should be aware of this, but you can find all the events, including the meeting tomorrow, on the calendar. So you can just subscribe if you like, or just take a look from now and then. Right. And there's like two things like in the open discussion items. The user story ones, which you talked about, and also that we need more leadership in working group comms and also in the tech in general. But we can get to this a little bit later. Are there any questions for working group comms?
Yeah, as I just wrote on the chat, I will join because I also forgot to explain that my focus within Agnostic is marketing and sales, and marketing is a big part of it. So I will explain what I will do following KubeCon, but I'm working now on a kind of recap from the 5 cloud engineers that went to KubeCon and write an article. So also spreading the word and have some content pieces also out of it. So we'll join also weekly on this group.
That's really helpful. I think I'm doing my best, but that is not my main focus. So it'd be good to collaborate and see how we can word things well.
Yeah, definitely.
And this
That's
is
awesome.
Lisa from Red Hat. I will also be joining the comms group.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So tomorrow we will have a busy meeting. That's great. All right. Is there somebody in this meeting from Working Group Green Reviews? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Nikki wrote an update async, so she cannot be here in this meeting. So we'll just read it. So before KubeCon, we wrote a blog post which got released also on the CNCF blog. So if anybody is interested in more technical work, this working group tackles more technical things. So we are assessing, or we are working towards assessing the sustainability footprint of CNCF projects. And we are starting with Falco. And this blog post just describes a little bit like our approach. It's not the finalized version. It's basically just like a milestone that we hit with KubeCon. But I think we already did a lot of work over the last 6 or more months. So if anybody is interested in this more technical work, feel free to give it a read and join the working group Green Reviews meetings. They're happening at the same time as this meeting, but it's basically like the other week. So every 2 weeks So basically, yeah, next week and so on.
Excuse me. So is
Yeah.
this a separate meeting for a different work group?
Yeah,
This is
so
for
we have, right, so we have for projects and for working groups separate meetings, just to basically have dedicated meetings for dedicated topics. And this is like the general meeting where we talk about like all stuff, sort of. So we give like updates, that we are aware of what things are happening. And if we are starting new projects or working groups or things like this, we are discussing these topics in this meeting. But if you are more interested in deep diving into technical discussions about this working group, this will not happen in this meeting, but instead like in the dedicated meetings. The same thing with working group comms and the other projects, just to give them a little bit more time and space. Yeah.
This is quite interesting because the project I mentioned is for the measurement of the carbon emissions and maybe how to use machine learning, federative learning to to have a better estimate of the carbon measurements. So yes, definitely something that I am more interested in.
Yeah, so there are in the community are also project-specific meetings. So for example, for the Kepler project, or maybe for other organizations, other open source project, the same. Usually they have like some kind of cadence where they meet online to talk about the project. So perhaps the Kepler meetings could also be very interesting for you. They are also communicating over the CNCF Slack channel. So you could just join one of these meetings and check it out.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I will
Yeah, a lot of meetings. So yeah, you just need to kind of see like
yeah, I'm
which fits
just
your
figuring out how to create an account, Slack account for the CNCF organization. Okay.
It's a
Alright.
public Slack, so you can create any account, should be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
All right. So moving on with the working group green reviews readout of the updates. So we had a meeting last week. We did a retrospective about the milestones, or basically what we worked on the last 6, 7, 8 months or so. So we did like some kind of we looked at all the things that we worked on and kind of tried to figure out, okay, what we can improve on. So like project planning, team planning, things like this. I think it was very interesting and successful. And potentially we will do the same also for the tag later in the next couple of weeks, we will see. Right. And just a shout out, if anybody is interested in joining this more technical work, feel free to join the other Slack channel and the meeting next week. All right. Are there any questions for working group green reviews? Otherwise, we can move to the project updates, but I believe Jakob and Marta are not in this meeting. So I will ask them after this meeting to give an update over chat. But just to give some context, so we started projects earlier this year. So this project is about working like best practices for environmental sustainability in Kubernetes clusters. We started this, I think, the week before KubeCon, so it's relatively fresh. But Marta and Jakob created a couple of issues to work towards some standards. I think the meeting is every Monday, also on the tag calendar. So if you are interested in Kubernetes and environmental sustainability and like best practices, this is like, I think, a great meeting to talk about that. It's very much in the beginning, but we will work with Kubernetes maintainers to kind of work on those best practices. Feel free to give it a read. Right. All right. Let's move to the open discussion items. Right. So after every major conference, in the past, we had a getting started meeting, which is basically some version of the maintainer talk. So we give like an overview. What is the tag? What is the CNCF? What is the objectives? What are the groups in the tag? How you can get started? Like how basically what are contributions? Things like this. And we will have another version of this getting started meeting in the next weeks. I think we have not scheduled it on the calendar, but we will give like a comment in the Slack channel as soon as it is scheduled. And it's probably at the same or similar time as this meeting. So feel free if you are interested in this, like having like a better understanding of what is a tag, what is a TOC, all those kind of things, to join this meeting. Right. And the next item. So we are looking for a little bit more leadership because we are starting more projects. We have, and if you all saw also the pictures from Paris, quite a lot of people that are interested in various different aspects of environmental sustainability and cloud native. And I think a lot of these topics are kind of urgent and interesting, and we should work on them. But this is only possible if we have more people in driving these initiatives. So if you are interested in, for example, higher education, these kind of things, and driving these initiatives, it would be great if you're just raising your hand in respective issues or comms related things. So there's like a bunch of different contributions you can do, technical wise, not technical wise, that would help, I think, the tag quite a bit. Right. And also later this year, we will have, so every 2 years, we have elections for the tag chairs. This is happening this September. So everybody is just aware of these kind of things that are happening. Right. Next one is about KubeCon Paris. So we did in KubeCon Paris quite a bit of new things. I think all the gatherings, also the booth and so on. So I think we expanded as a tag our presence quite a bit. So if you have like any thoughts on our presence, what we can improve on at those conferences, something which is maybe missing or something which went well, feel free to add your thoughts to this issue. I believe there's nothing yet on it, but we will talk about it in the next tag meeting. So if you were at KubeCon Paris, feel free to add your thoughts. So we have like some kind of feedback and can improve our presence next time in Salt Lake City. Right. Oh, I see Malo is also in this meeting. This is great timing. Because the next meeting, next item, I edited for you, Malo, because he commented in chat that we would like to turn the landscape document. So if for everybody, to give a little bit more context, we have on our website this landscape tab, which lists a bunch of things that are connected to cloud native sustainability. And we are working on rewriting this document so it's more targeted for specific user groups. So for example, if you're like an engineer or like an architect or different kind of person in the development of software, which kind of aspects are relevant for you. And yeah, I don't know, Malo, can you would you like to talk about this, or and Jochen?
So Yo-Chen has made progress here, but I'd like to take what's there and do what we did last time, which is basically run a set of meetings where we go through and we make sure, divvy up components so it's not a single person effort, but a community effort, and go from there. Yo-Chen, do you have anything to add to that? Any feelings?
Not much, no. First of all, I think that's a good idea because, I mean, I've been moving, but at a very slow pace. I've made some quite a lot of progress over Easter. I could use some of the hours of rain that we got here in Germany to turn them into text. So that was quite successful. Therefore, I actually have about 3 or 4 pages that I can add to the measurement section, which I said that there would be 3 core sections to this landscape document. The first would be to explain kind of the situation that we have multiple players involved in cloud native technologies. For those of you who are not regularly looking into this landscape document rewrite, those 4 categories are the manufacturers of the hardware. So anyone like Intel, NVIDIA, AMD, you name them, the ones who built the hardware, the ones who then use that hardware to operate data centers, and then the ones who build the software, like any kind of managed services to build the software as a service offers and platform as a service offers on top of that. So that would be your AWS, Amazon, Google, Alibaba, your cloud providers. And then last but not least, the application developers. Those would then be the developers who use those offerings, who use those things that they can basically pay for by credit card from their cloud providers and build some applications that we all use or build, in my case. At least, right? So those are the 4 categories, and that part I've already written. You can read it and you can tell me what you think. And then now's the next chapter would be measuring. So what does measuring look like at the moment? Is it actually measuring, or is it more estimation? Obviously, it's more estimation. What can you measure? What should you measure? All that kind of stuff. I'm gonna try to stay as high level as possible. Obviously, I need to mention a few things, and then it doesn't really kind of make sense to just say, hey, the greenhouse gas protocol exists. Go look it up yourself. I want to provide a little more context, obviously, so that people kind of know whether it's actually worth researching or not. So yeah, made some progress. Love to hear some more opinions about that. And what Marlo already said is, it is possible but not wise for just one individuum to write this, if this is to represent the opinion or the state of best practice of the CNCF, right? We already have a document available on Google, what's it called? Google Docs?
Google Drive, yeah, Docs, I think it's
Google,
Docs.
exactly. You will find a link in the issue that Leo is sharing at the moment. Down at the bottom it should be, and this is the current state of the document. As I said, I will add a few pages to it soonish, and then what you could do that's very easy to do is check for spelling, check for grammar, check for wording, and comment those to the side. Or if you are into any kind of topic and you want to contribute a little more, You can write your own chapters. You can, of course, message me on Slack, and we can find a meeting slot for all of us so that we can have a group discussion regarding any kind of direction that the document should take, or any kind of sections that you want to add, remove, whatever. It'd be very cool if we could find this kind of working mode.
If you don't mind, we can try to find a meeting point maybe later this month. And just make it generally open, have people show up,
Yeah.
Have a discussion, because sometimes people are hesitant to go change a document that's already there.
Yeah. No, totally.
About what is and is
That's
not
what I meant by.
acceptable. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
If you don't
yeah,
mind,
yeah.
I can work with you and we can find a time, and then we can invite
Yeah, lovely. I
communities.
mean,
I mean,
we
because-
worked on the first draft, so it kind of
Yeah.
makes sense to continue that success story. Yeah.
Yeah, I find sometimes if you have a meeting on people's calendar, it comes up to them, then they commit in the meeting for better or for worse, and then usually they manage to contribute. So
Yeah.
so we can do that, or maybe we can dedicate the latter part of the next meeting. Leo, what do you think for going through that content?
Yeah, I think it makes sense to split it up and talk about it in a meeting. I think it's worked well in the past, and yeah.
Okay, yeah, because
I think it
the
would
other thing
take too
is
much
with the
time.
yeah.
Sorry.
Like with the the measurement section, Scaphandra has pretty good numbers, but doesn't include networking. So we can like write down what gaps there are and then what the tools are. Kepler is more of an estimation tool, right?
Most of the tools are more of an estimation tool.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Know of any tool that can actually claim to really measure.
Right, and when I'm doing measurements, I want to measure on the box with and without the workload. That's really the. But you're still missing network traffic, so it only gets part of the story.
Right, exactly, and that's actually a part that I still need to write. And I think for measuring, for the sake of landscape document, right, I want to tackle a more higher level issue here and leave all the technicalities to individual, maybe blog posts or further reading material, because I don't think it falls into the scope of a landscape document to go into detail of how Scaphandra works and what Scaphandra does different to any kind of other tool. That would be too detailed, I think. But what makes sense is to find a classification, let's say, or an overview listing of these tool exists, and they kind of do this. And if you want to know more, here are a bunch of links.
Yeah, and the other thing I had success with, some intermittent success with, is sometimes I would contact maintainers specifically and ask them to contribute. So like by name in Slack or through their GitHub projects. Sometimes I put in issues if they were funded. So like Linkerd, for instance, I would put in a public.
I don't know if that's already recorded in any document anywhere, but something about the accurate measurement is that can't really be done unless we actually get support for that by the cloud providers, and last time I checked that wasn't there yet. So yeah, so if we actually want to check how much power is this using, this needs to go further than just some documents. We need to get this out to a cloud provider saying, hey, we actually need this information.
Absolutely. You nailed the reason why I have that very first chapter. It is breaking down these groups, because what you learn from that breakdown, or one consequence that becomes immediately obvious, is that if we talk about sustainability and if we want to push sustainability, we need support from all groups. So if only the application engineers are left to it, then they will find themselves at a loss, because they can't get the measurements, and they then need to guess stuff. And if they are doing their best, but the cloud providers, data center operators switch to coal fueled power plants, coal power anyway, you know what I mean. If they burn coal to generate that electricity, or they choose to a provider, an electricity provider, doesn't matter, then no matter how much these application engineers at the end try to improve their sustainability, they will never ever be carbon neutral. Yeah. So this kind of playing well together and cooperating is the core essence of the very first chapter, because I think that's the very that's the most important thing that needs to happen.
Is there a link to this document somewhere? Sorry if I overheard it
Yeah.
earlier, but
That's in the issue that Leo shared. There's a Google Doc, another Google Doc than what is shared currently on the screen. That is the basically. Leo put the link in the chat. So if you click on that, it should guide you to the issue. If you scroll down, there's a link to a Google Docs file. And that Google Docs file is everything that I have currently written, and that I'm comfortable enough that it is good English to put it out there. And yeah, if you have any opinions on that, comment them. Feel free to change anything. If you do, just maybe let me know. That would be nice.
I'll definitely read through it,
'Cause-
and I'll probably,
Yeah.
instead of just outright changing it, I'll add comments if I find anything that needs
Perfect.
that I think should be changed. But yeah.
Because right now it does kind of feel like my baby, and I
Mhm.
do feel it shouldn't. It really shouldn't feel like my baby. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll work with you and we'll figure out a
Yeah,
meeting time
exactly.
in
Yeah,
advance.
yeah. Perfect.
Right. And also we need to make sure that we don't lose focus, because we don't want to explain everything, right? So I think there's also something like an interesting discussion in the meeting. So what
Exactly.
part
Yeah,
we
that
keep
would be
out of this
yeah,
document, because at the end we don't want to repeat everything, and we are not experts of everything. We try to be experts of cloud, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Very important issue. And I have my opinion of, and I think that the scoping issue is really important, and I think I've solved it so far. But I'm very curious what other people think. Would they see within the scope of the landscape document, out of the scope of the landscape document? Because it is getting quite lengthy. It is not an easy read anymore, especially if we add all the other chapters. And I assume that the other chapters will be a lot longer than just the first.
All right.
And yeah.
Sounds good. I think talking about this in a dedicated meeting sounds
Yeah.
best
Totally. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jochen.
No worries, of course.
All right. Moving to the next one, or are there any more questions for the landscape document? So feel free, everybody who is interested in this kind of work, just to comment. This is like, as any project in the tag, community effort, so we can drive it in any direction we think works best. This is not set in stone. I think the proposal that is described in the issue is good. I think there's like a lot of like a need to rework the current landscape document that we have right now. But this huge document, or like a document as large as this one, takes quite a bit of time to get it right. So yeah.
It sure does. I'd like to add one thing, because that didn't come up yet, but I think it is just as important as all the other topics that we talked about, is maintenance. Because, I mean, if we talk about tools like Scaphandra and stuff, they will of course evolve over time. Therefore, eventually, what we have written in the landscape document will be outdated sooner or later. At least I'm hoping that it will be. So having this meeting to write it is one thing, but to have a group of individuals who are willing to maintain it and keep this up to date is just as important as writing it in the first place.
Yep, definitely. All right. We also have another project proposal about user stories of CNCF projects and how they integrate with environmental sustainability. I believe Valeria is not in this meeting, right? But we can take a look anyways. Correct. So this is basically just to collect user stories of projects in the CNCF ecosystem, or maybe also end users. We need to see. It's not defined in the scope. Basically, like user stories, for example, like KEDA or other projects, how they address environmental sustainability, how they transform their project, or which aspects of this project have implications, and maybe also how they are used. So feel free to give it a read. I think this proposal needs to have a little bit more details. So feel free to add your comments and thoughts, how this can be shaped out. I see Max has his hand up.
Yeah, maybe it makes sense also to tag here the technical advisory board, the TAB. So this is the end user community, which could be maybe relevant here. And besides that, we need to give a little bit more input here and describe a little bit more what is the target of this. I might have a company in mind who actually shared already once or twice a little bit their story about what they have done and how they measure their data centers, how they have even reduced tons of their infrastructure. I think they used also Kepler to measure. I can give them a ping and link them up to the issue, and if they maybe would be interested to, I don't know, maybe have a first write-up, whatever it will be, so that we have an idea what usually could be an interesting input provided by them. Maybe it's also interesting to do it more like an interview style or written interview.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we need to make sure that the scope is clear. So either we focus on end adopters, so that we work with the TAB and like other companies and so on, or we focus on the CNCF projects itself. So what I basically kind of mentioned, how KEDA or any other project sort of has like can be used or has like implications in terms of environmental sustainability. But I think this should be like defined in the scope. Okay, native.
Don't we have this already? I think we have this already in some ways, because like we have blog post about build packs, right? So or the carbon footprint, not carbon footprint, the KEDA carbon aware SDK. I think we also have some written about it.
Yep.
So I think in some way we have this already, but I believe if we give the chance and the opportunity to really to the end user community to highlight what they have done and how's the impact on their infrastructure and their IT, this could be a very good motivation for others to go deeper into it and want to know more about it and learn more about it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's would be very helpful. Depends obviously like how well the information is from the end adopters, but I think like in general, I think that could be a very interesting thing. So yeah. All right. So if you're interested in this kind of work, for projects, we always look for 2 leads. So not just one lead has all the pressure sort of to show up on meetings and give updates and so on, but there's a little bit more share of work. So if you're interested in this kind of reaching out to end users, gathering those kind of user stories, feel free to comment. I sent a link to this issue in the meeting notes and in chat. All right, I think we will talk about this project proposal again in the next tag meeting. And hopefully until then, we can work out on some of these details. I can write myself a note or maybe Max, I don't know if you would like to do it. Just a comment here and maybe also link to the tab.
Yeah, I will do. I also know a few tab members which approached us already in other contexts, but I'm in contact with them.
Yep. All right, awesome. I will just assign you. Zack. All right. Are there any questions for this project proposal? All right. Then let's move to the next one. Global Sustainability Week. Cloud Native Sustainability Week from Flavia and Julie. Would you like to talk on this?
Yeah. No, I was wondering if you missed one topic, which was trying to from Nikki, but you already talked about it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I have not read it out loud, but it sounds like we already have a first user story from Deutsche Bahn.
Oh yeah, sorry. No, it's part of the. Okay, yeah, I added this because I don't know. So we volunteer to help in the Global Sustainability Week, and Julie is going to do, I think, most of that. So I don't know where is this is. Maybe it's for the comms meeting, or is it? Yeah, I don't know. I talked about it in KubeCon, and there were some people interested in participating, but I don't know where's this kicked off. And
Yes, it's very good that you brought it up because I have not added to the agenda, and I think we mentioned in Paris that we will work on this after Paris, after KubeCon. So good that you brought it up. For everybody here who is maybe not familiar of this format, last year in October we organized an event, Cloud Native Sustainability Week, and we also have this entry on our website. So it's basically a couple of different formats where we talk about environmental sustainability. The core of this event is that we have in-person meetups. So you can see on this map like all the green spots. So we had 22 meetups in different places, and actually like a couple of organizers are also in this meeting. So it's good that you stick around also after this event. And after I think this event overall was like a big success. So we will do it like a similar form. Maybe we will change some things up this year, but like do a similar format again this year. And we have an issue to track this. I already linked it in chat. Cloud Native Sustainability Week 2024. And we also have two people that volunteer to take on most of the organization. It's Nancy and Alessandro. And last year we did, I think every 2 weeks or so, or once a month, a meeting to talk about the ongoing progress. So I think we will do the same thing this year again. There are already like a couple of ideas how we can change things up. So yeah. So for now, I think the targeted date is for for the most part like similar to last year, so that we organized the event like October, September, sometime then. We have not really started with the meeting series, as I said. We will start it hopefully soon. So I will try to get to Nancy and Alessandro and get them setting up project meetings so we can talk about this. But I also saw like a lot of interest in this Cloud Native Sustainability Week again in Paris. So I think that's already great. Is there anything, Flavia or Julie, that you would like to talk about right now? Or would you like to also help like in the global organization of the event? Because there's also like a bunch of stuff that needs to happen, writing blog posts and I don't know, organizing everything, talking to the local meetup organizers and so on.
Yeah.
Um,
The idea was to help us at the global level, and
Yeah.
sorry, Julie.
No, that's exactly what I was about to say. To help Alessandro and Nancy and take part in organizing the global events.
Awesome.
So,
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. I will maybe we can also start a project channel around the Cloud Native Sustainability Week in Slack. We also do the same thing for the working groups and some other projects. Maybe that would be helpful too. And then we can start the discussion this week and maybe have a meeting next week or the week after to kick things off. But from my experience last year, it takes quite a bit of time to get everything organized and so on. So we should get moving soon.
yeah, exactly. I agree. Let's not waste time, so we're not in a pressure in September. If you need any help, let me know. I'm also new to the Slack channel, but yeah, if you want to do anything together, just reach out.
All right. Thank you so much. Awesome. There is a hashtag community group organizers channel in the CNCF. Yes, and I think we also utilized this last year. We reached out to a bunch of organizers from. So I think most people here are aware of this, but community CNCF.io. So we have, is it this one? Yeah, I think it's this one. So when you go to chapters, so we have like hundreds of community groups in the CNCF that are located in all those different areas around the world. And we reached out to not all of them, but a couple of them and just asked them if they would like to host a meetup. And I think we should do the same thing this year again. And then we can just link up the success of last year and then have everybody has more confidence that this is like a great event. But yeah, that's a great shout out again that we should utilize this. Also, Julie, I'm not sure if you are connected to some of the CNCF people that are responsible for these kind of things. So we have Katie and Audra from the CNCF. They are both responsible for community efforts, and they helped us last year getting things set up and so on. So we will also should invite them to the first or a couple of these meetings, so they are also like in the loop and they can support us.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Any more things about the Cloud Native Sustainability Week? Right, so we have 7 minutes and 2 items on the agenda. The next one is from Scott. Anyone have ideas on programming for the Earth Day edition of the New York City Kubernetes meetup Scott.
Hey there. Yeah. So I am one of the organizers of the New York City Kubernetes meetup, and Ariel Jatib, who's been organizing that and other Kubernetes meetups for many years, also joined the call. I joined quite a bit late, so I missed some of the beginning stuff, unfortunately, a little under the weather. But I made a couple of notes in the environmental sustainability tag Slack. And I know Christina and I are planning to meet. Mainly, I want to ask folks. Here's what I'm thinking. Ariel has been out for this particular event for totally unrelated reasons, and I'm taking the lead on the content for it. And I've been super passionate about eco-activism for many years. I think those of you who've been involved with the sustainability tag know me probably from early on when we were all kind of getting it started. So my question really is, my thought was, hey, there's a bunch of folks I know who would be great speakers, and the only problem is they would require jet fuel to get there, and that really feels kind of specifically, we're trying to avoid that in general, unless there's already a trip planned. But that would be specifically bad, I think, to do that on an Earth Day focused Kubernetes meetup. So my question to all of you is, for this upcoming Kubernetes meetup that we're focusing on Earth Day, we're going to do it on the 23rd. Do you have ideas, folks, or organizations that would be, basically contacts who would be good to reach out to, either both to attend? I mean, we have a bunch of people that we're always full attending, but still, we may have a larger venue this time. For both to just be aware of it, but specifically who might want to do some kind of presentation or even just chat with us there, who are in New York or nearby that wouldn't need to take a plane to get here. I don't want to put folks on the spot to necessarily pipe up right now, but if you do have the thoughts now, it's very all ears. Also, if you think about anything later, please ping me in Slack. Could be in the environmental sustainability channel, or really any channel. And even if you just want to have a 5-minute chat or 15-minute chat with me about brainstorming these things at any point, my schedule is available to do that with anyone who is interested in that. So I don't know, Ariel, if you had anything else you wanted to say about that before asking other folks.
No, thanks, Scott. Yeah, basically we have a venue, we have a date, and we'd love to socialize some of things that are important to the group, whether it be the landscape, contributing, or if there's some local folks who serve as examples in those case studies. We tend to record. We have a YouTube channel, so you can see past talks. So we do amplify in that way. But yeah, your help and input is very much welcome.
Right.
Yochen has his hand up.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's one thing that I can already tell you. There is I put the link in the chat as well. The Green Software Foundation, which we try to collaborate with, they have a list of champions, so-called champions. I myself am on that list, but there is also the CTO of Microsoft on that list, and he appears to be located in or around New York. If you search for New York up in the search bar, you would also narrow it down. There he is, Ravi Thakar. And yeah, I'm not too familiar with distances in and around New York, but maybe there's somebody else on that list that might come in handy as a speaker or as somebody to reach out to maybe, I don't know, collaborate on any kind of other level. That's it.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. I think that's a great shout out. And we just have 2 minutes. So if you, I will just wrap this up. If you have like more ideas, any contacts in this area, in this region, then feel free to message Scott. And also share if it's getting recorded, share the share the recordings. It's probably very interesting. And we can also put this on the YouTube channel. Or we sort of add this to one of the playlists if you already uploaded it to YouTube.
Have we considered doing a Twitch stream?
Or something like that. Yep.
Because that might be good, because then people can interact in the comment section. And
All right. The next one is from Jochen, Illustrated Children's Guide to Green Cloud Native Computing. So I believe this was an issue Max opened during Paris, which is sort of connected to the other project, right? The learning path. Yes.
Not necessarily, but
necessarily.
it was more like the funny, stupid little idea which we got while sitting together and introducing to each other. And that just popped up. And yeah, therefore we wrote it down because I think it could be actually quite fun, quite cute, something different, but maybe interesting for people who are very creative to put in their thoughts and yeah, help to define maybe a little story which we can bring out there and put out there.
Yeah, I think this is like a great idea. At the end, it depends like if we have enough people to support this project. If there's like people that would like to lead this. And if that's the case, I think this would be, I think like also in the past, like at every KubeCon, I see like children's books and they're always like super, I think like a nice illustration and can be also helpful in general, not just for children, but I think this like very simple format of kind of trying to talk about challenging or complicated things in like a very simpler form can be very helpful, Scott. And then I think we should close this one after this one. Yeah.
Yes, this is 5 seconds. If you'd like me to reach out to Karen, who I made a note in the chat. If you'd like me to reach out to her, she's one of the other NYC Kubernetes meetup organizers with me and Ariel. She co-wrote that book series you're talking about with Fippy and friends about Kubernetes and containers.
Yeah.
That might be she may be a good contact. She would be a good contact for anything related to this.
Yeah.
Just
and she also supported the tag in the past. So she was already, so maybe she would actually be interested in this.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Scott.
Awesome. Yeah, if you could keep me in the loop about that, that would be great, because I think that there are some overlaps between introducing children to this topic to introducing just anybody to the topic via the landscape document. So I think I already have a few ideas up my sleeve, and I'd love to contribute. If not even lead, let's see how much time I can afford to spend on it, but yeah.
All right. Sounds great. Okay, we're already 2 minutes over time, almost 3 minutes. So let's close this meeting for today. I see there's like one more topic on the discussion, which is about translations of documents into German.
I mean, I can really quickly talk about it. It's just something I want to get going. I'm probably going to go out and open an issue on GitHub today, and then we can discuss how to go forward from there.
All right.
Propose it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much. If you need any help, let me know. All right. Thanks everybody for joining. I will stop the recording.